Good morning, everyone. Pillow, yoga bolster if you have one, smaller size, and a blanket. Mexican blankets are the best for yoga because you can fold them up and use them for restorative support. And Wilson Method balls as well. We're going to use them all today. I'm going to have some water. Please do the same if you haven't already. And we're going to start by making a little bit of sound. Hey! Let's do a few of those. And notice where those hays are sitting, how they feel, how's your breath. A few more. Hey! Alrighty then. Pillow number one, underneath the belly. So between the top of the pelvic crest and the base of the rib cage. Head can be turned or straight ahead. On the hands, off the hands, pillow, no pillow, whatever feels comfortable. So noticing the breath, activating into the pillow, hopefully. So without attempting to change it or do it right, noticing that diaphragm drop into the digestive tract, into the liver and stomach, and therefore into the pillow. Now take a couple of deep breaths into the pillow. Really press that belly into the pillow. Inspiratory muscle training. Release. Let the surrender sigh happen. So we inhale nose. Exhale, mouth. Now just go to sleep on the pillow for about a minute. And by that, I mean let the body breathe you. You just hang out. Don't even have to watch, because sometimes watching can affect the breathing. Let the pillow do the work. This is the restorative yoga part. And take the pillow out and then lie back down flat. And what do you notice about your breathing? And inhale. As you move, exhale. So just before you move onto all fours, start your exhale. Which allows the core to activate. Inhale. Exhale, sigh. Inhale up. Exhale, cat twist, other side. Inhale up. Cat twist. Inhale up. Keep at it, side to side. Exhale more air each time. Now let's start to lengthen that exhalation. So inhaling up, exhale, sigh. Now wait. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Notice if your inhale was different. Sigh, surrender. Inhale up. Exhale, sigh. Couple more. And now just come up to your knees. Hey! See what you notice? Is that anything about the voice or the breath changing from when we started? Are you noticing your cat reacts differently than the first time? Happy puppy. Inhale. Locked elbow, reach through the arm, pulling back in the back hip. The hip that matches the arm. Inhale up. Exhale. Reaching the back hip back. Inhale. Inhale. Couple more. Notice what this is doing. Internally. And come off. Hey, he, ho, ha. And let's give, there's more to that series, but usually I like to get off the wrists for a moment. So we'll do another biggie for rib cage release. Right in the middle, like so. Left leg out. It's nice if these toes can touch the floor for grounding and stability. For most people, they won't. So you bring the floor up to you. Or a yoga block, anything. But you can do it without it. Without the block, though, we really have to use our awareness to be sending energy through that leg and to be continuously grounding and stabilizing through there. So a block or a pillow makes that easier. Inhale, opposite arm up. And keep thinking up and out, letting this hand slide down the leg, Up and out, up and out. Through here. It's a lengthening through that entire open side. The down in this pose is a coincidence. If we start trying to go down, we mess up the pose. Up and out, like you're trying to touch the spot where your wall meets your ceiling. And of course, the surrender sigh is the key to everything in life. So keep that going. Bring your lower shoulder towards me, your upper shoulder away from me. And slowly but surely, we allow the pose to soften. Do bend the straight leg if you find if you're pretty flexible, you find you're leaning into that joint. Lower shoulder towards me, upper shoulder away from me. Inhale, exhale up. And kneel for a moment. Here's the cool part. Notice the two sides of your face. Notice the two sides of your rib cage. In fact, notice the entire side of your body and then compare it to the other side of your body. That's the fun part for me. Feels so bizarre. But that's not all, as we said in the 80s. Now do a hey or a he. Which side of your body or your face or your mask are you resonating out of more? Go ahead. Can you feel that resonance more than just in your face? Hey, if you can feel it in your chest, where in your chest? Which side? I betcha, I betcha. Fun with resonance. All right, switch your yoga block or pillow or a small cat or whatever you're using over to the other side. And this knee you can see is right under this hip. That's important. Otherwise we start to skew everything and becomes less safe. Grounding that foot, stabilizing that foot. Inhale up. Exhale, up and out. Without the surrender sigh, yoga is nothing. It's just stretching and exercise. And unsafe stretching and exercise to boot. Aha. So you've got the surrender sigh when you notice you go deeper into the pose. That the breath takes you deeper into the pose, not your will. Lower shoulder towards me, upper shoulder away from me. Inhale, exhale, press into that grounded leg and come out. And again, it's the surrender sigh that does this. If we're actually clenching the throat, shutting off our core, bad for singers and actors, and very bad for health in general. So it's that surrender sigh that brings us out of those poses safely. All right, take a centering check-in on the two sides of the body. It probably won't be as obvious this time because we've done both sides. But check that side and see if you feel a half an inch taller on one side instead of an inch taller. Now it feels like it's time to do the first side again. We could be here all day. It's like trying to saw the table legs until they're even, and eventually you end up with a little step stool. Breathing, notice expansion perhaps. Are those ribs moving a little differently? And if you like, try a few heys and whoos again. Notice connection between body and voice. Perhaps. All right. Next. Yoga bolster is best. If not everyone has a yoga bolster, if you don't, there's another option. If you got a Mexican blanket, roll it up until it's about the size of a yoga bolster. If you don't have a Mexican blanket, you can roll your yoga mat up, especially if it's a thicker one, or 2 yoga mats, or roll a towel around a yoga mat. Or your wiener dog, that would work. Crossways across the back, you end up just under your armpits. So it'll be up here. Like so. And if your neck takes any kind of hit with this, then please do put a pillow under your neck, or even better, you can roll a small towel underneath the neck crease. So underneath the head at the neck. If you have any sciatica, sciatica is the one where we feel lightning bolts going down our legs, usually. You can do this, what we're doing right now, but don't do the next thing. And the next thing is, so if you're dealing with any sciatica, just lie here, and releasing the upper back, of course, is excellent for breathing, but also that will take the pressure off the lower back and can often help the symptoms of sciatica as well. If you're all okay, down that lower back or just a little bit of stiffness, this is great. So what we're doing here is creating more space for the diaphragm to descend in the back. As we know, the diaphragm is bigger in the back. So knees bent, feet on the floor, comfortably close to the bum, tuck left big toe over the right big toe, and go over to the right. Noticing if your shoulder blades stay on the pillow, noticing if the knees are still touching. Inhale up, exhale over. Other side. So back and forth. If we've been hunching in front of the computer at all, this is excellent. Breathing diaphragmatically. Any twinges in the lower back that don't feel safe, and by that I mean red hot pokers as opposed to dull aches, stop. If any red hot pokers, odds are that'll be about the SI joint, and we want to be careful in there. Because what SI pain is not tension. It's actually the facet joints are too loose. And so the nerve starts to get pinched. So poses like this, if you have sciatica, is the last thing you want to do. There's specific poses for sciatica. That involve closing those facet joints. And I'll tell you, it's hard to sing with sciatica. I've had some students because it disables the entire core. And come back to flat. Breathe, notice. Notice your back breathing. Lengthen the neck a little bit. Just probably that chin started coming up while we were doing the twists. Knees back up. All the previous warnings still apply. Cross the left leg over the right. And so the knees are crossed, not the ankle. The knees are hugging each other. And same idea. Back and forth. Also excellent for digestion. This is also a big series for the monthlies. Big pose for trauma work as well. And it can make you cough, and that's okay. Usually what that is some old stale CO2 sitting around in the base of the lungs. And because of all the twisting and whooshing and diaphragmatic pumping, stuff comes out. And that's great, because you'll find you'll be able to sing a longer line or speak longer through a monologue if it's so desired. And come to center, switch the legs, just with yourself, not anyone else. And again. So you can time your exhale to each stretch as well. But if you do, you might want to slow that down a little bit like this. Wait, inhale. You get bonus marks for this because it forces us to inhale through the nose using our core as opposed to tightening the six pack. So be very clear that you're not engaging the six pack in order to lift the legs up, because then that's, well, completely opposite to everything we're doing. Because then the armoring starts, right? That's the major center of armoring, is right in the solar plexus, that upper rectus abdominis. So we want those exhales to be free and surrendery, and the inhales to be powerful and core driven, not six pack / will driven. And de-pretzel and come back to flat. Readjust anything that needs readjusting, head, neck, spot on the bolster. You might have migrated. And come off enough to pull the bolster out. And then just like we did with the tummy, lie flat. God, my mat's all over the place too. Lie flat. And what do you notice about your breathing? And with gentle gaze, notice your back breathing especially. Super. Inhale, gather strength. Exhale, surrender up. Downward dog, use a ho vowel to launch yourself in. So the breath and voice have to start before you move, like so. Then inhale again. Up dog, ha. Rolling the shoulders. Roll the right shoulder. Roll the left. Down dog. Draw little circles in the air with your tailbone. Draw a Mickey Mouse hat in the air with your tailbone. Good luck. Keep adding the sound, letting the sound affect the pose and the pose affect the sound. With a ho, lift the right leg. Ho, bend the knee, open, dog peeing on a fire hydrant pose. Ho. Ho. Upward dog, ha. Ha. Down dog, ho. Ho. Other leg up. Bend the knee as far as you can go. Open. Ho. 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 Ha. Upward dog. Ha. Hey, ho. Ha. Is your ha placed better than sometimes it might be? That ha is often the one that sticks in the back of the throat. Hey, he. Feeling it in here, perhaps? That's the hope. Good, good. Let's check in with another pose good for zoomitis. For helping it, not causing it. So kneeling again. And you can sit on your feet if you want. I just kneel because I can be seen better. Clasp the hands. Reach the hands away from the tailbone, as far as you can. Then squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze those mid-traps together. Lift the hand. Squeeze the mid-traps. Lift the hands. Squeeze the mid-traps. Lift the hands. Squeeze, lift. Jaw soft, neck soft. Can you feel a hey between your shoulder blades? Hey. Can you feel it all the way down your spine? I can. It's not just imagination. Hey. Hey. Roll the head around. Squeeze the shoulder blades together one more time. Lift And bring them down, release, and hug. And hug again. Switching the hug. And shake out those hands a little bit. All right, another zoomitis pose. 5-inch volcano ball under the chin. Press down about 30%. And then neck, gently but firmly, east-west. So laterally, side to side, and pull the ball out. Notice head mobility, neck mobility, any different? Then switch hands, press in 30%, back and forth. And release, and neck mobility. Woo! Excellent. Sunball. It's going to go right on the belly button and around it. So we're going to massage. You'll love this, I promise. Massage through this whole area. Those of you that have read the user manual, you know that there's a little bone here at the base of the ribs right in the middle. Be careful with that. But other than that, get right into that solar plexus, underneath the rib cage, etc. If you have a belly button ring, please be careful. Tim, I'm talking to you. So make sure as you do this that you're doing lots of breathing. So the tendency for some is, because there's a bloody big ball pressing into our solar plexus, that we want to brace. That is, tighten the six-pack muscle. That's exactly what we're trying to get rid of, because tightening the six-pack muscle kills our voice and our health and our core and our joy. Okay, fine, I'll stop. Get right in between the two pelvic crests. Some of you are far away enough from breakfast. This is fine. Sorry if you're not. And it kills our space for choice as well. That's a little more, seems a little bit more esoteric, but it's not. When we don't feel space to breathe, we feel like we haven't got space for life and for choice. And that's when things start getting hairy. So keeping this area free, work it gently into the solar plexus between the ribs, but not too high. With a ball this big though, you're 99.999% safe. It's when you use a smaller ball, like the 4-inch, you don't want to get too high up in that solar plexus, because it can get higher up, right? Because of its smaller diameter. Get underneath those ribs best you can. Sigh with vocal, my Dave, this feels great. Thank you so much for suggesting it. This is just awesome. Side to side, across the vertical fibers of the six-pack. that have probably been overused. And come off. Best thing we've heard all day. Breathe, notice. Space, the final frontier. Find your blanket. Floof it out. And have it ready. Almost there. Bouncer. Soften the shoulders. Let the shoulders bounce as much as you can. Let the hands go. Let the neck go. Let the head go. Let the jaw go. And come to standing. Notice the buzz. Let's take a quick visit to my 3 warriors. First one is fists, hands down by the hips. Hey! Ha! Pick a vowel, do it. Hip oriented. What do you notice? A couple more on your own. That front foot has to land solidly. Couple more. Number 2, hands flat, touching into the heart center. Ha! 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 Couple more on your own. Ah, feel the effects. And then finally, throw the arms up as you step forward, still keeping solid foot, hip oriented pose. Ha! 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 A few more on your own. And you remember that blanket? Place yourself gently under it and lie down on the floor. Feeling a sense of completion, a sense of doneness, and thanking yourselves inside for taking time for you. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rotating wrists and ankles. Stretching out arms and legs. Inhale, exhale, roll to the right hand side. Give yourselves a big hug or two. And come up to sitting.